raged through all Avantasia. The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet, no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine fate. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur, the young gnome who was the first of his clan to become a mage. Ivo, the courageous elven princess from the Woodland Realm. And the Critter, a hairy creature from the Northlands, companion of the most brilliant of the heroes. Nate Bonnet, who was supposed to spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved the kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah! Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the explosion. If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow I really doubt it. Ow!
Oh, hi, Nate. How's it going?
Good. For now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Let me see. I'm accompanying tons of boulders in a plummet to certain painful death. My death. So just how do you think you could make things any worse?
Worse? I could set the air on fire, or it could start smelling. Very bad.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me! I just can't take it anymore!
Benny! Ah! The state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do. A flying carpet. Is that too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why, you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes! What the heck? What happened here? No!
Welcome, Adventurer. I am the tutorial, guardian of gameplay, explainer of controls.
Use the left stick to move the character.
Well done.
If you walk up to an object, context-sensitive actions, walk up to that big lever.
The robot has used the lever, as this seemed logical to him.
Now press circle so that the robot looks at the lever rather than uses it.
Excellent. The robot thinks the lever is working.
But if that's so, then where is the problem? That hatch over there, walk up to it and press X.
The little chap seems to think there are advanced engine mechanics hidden behind there. Perhaps that's where the problem is.
Press X again. First time you press X will allow...
Why? Because after a player character has looked at something, the most
It's quite simple. Press circle when you want to look at something. Press X in order to do whatever that character thinks is the... Is the machine working again? Walk...
appears to be a new problem. Better take a closer look at the engine.
Oops, that wasn't very helpful. Please pick up both gears by...
Great work. Items you pick up will go into your inventory.
You open and close your inventory by pressing triangle. To use an inventory item, select it with X and then select the object that you want it to be used with.
Use one of the gears in your inventory with the engine of the town model. Excellent. Now the second gear. Perfect. You'd better oil the engine before you switch. That should do it. Time to crank it up. You can examine objects in the inventory in more detail. Pick up the damaged figure and the toolbox.
Then open the inventory with triangle and press circle in order to examine the toolbox.
Great. You found a few items in the toolbox.
You can use these items on each other by initially selecting the first object with X and then using it on the second object again with X.
Try to repair the figure in the inventory. Well done. Now place the figure back in its rightful place on the balcony of the castle and start the machine.
Excellent. You are now ready. One last tip before I go. If you press square, all interesting objects in the scene will be displayed.
Good luck with your adventures in the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
I'm worried about you.
Oh, Mother.
What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the elf kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired, or fat. I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get ill. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. Mother would make a state occasion out of it. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the library. No, rest is not what I need just now. I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be stopped, neither by locked doors nor by you. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully. We have many exotic plants here in the palace. Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. A friendly gift from nature, taken without permission. A friendly gift from... Normally this box, presumably... Cheap, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your... Don't say I never... withdrawal symptoms? I just need the music box. You don't need to turn your head away from your beautiful... Shh. It got dark and he simply... No. I'm going to have to take a few more of your seeds, but I promise this is the last time. Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to... So... Cheap has eaten every... Let's go. As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is. There are reeds and water lilies growing in the pond. Naturally, they were planted there. They don't grow in the wild so high up the mountains. I can't think of any use for a water lily, but a reed could come in handy. A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh. I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
The garden always looks fantastic.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, me dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly in the evenings.
You tree shepherds...
The trees just stand there. Hey, you...
Mother put... You tell...
Oh, yeah?
No?
I'm up.
What are you up to today, then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the Elfborough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the Elfborough. Slower.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather in the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Ah, the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life.
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit... Your mother got a whole heap of flowers.
Perhaps it needs a special type of...
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something...
if you're going in, it'd be nice...
Oh, you play... My lips...
A handy smooth stone. Arbor's sheepdog. Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the Elfborough. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted to build himself a throne out of all the swords of conquered enemies. Unfortunately, he died after only conquering one enemy when he refused to heed all the warnings and sat on the throne. It's said that a ruler in the north wanted... Unfortunately, he died. It's said that a ruler... What have we got here then? Aha. Ah, Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
Ill elf? So I look ill. What's wrong with me?
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one, I'm older than you.
And you look it too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh, please.
It is one of the most common causes of death amongst beautiful princesses.
Oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus. But I think it is something else.
Like what?
To be completely certain, you must mix a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
Are you actually qualified to make a diagnosis? And what?
I am a magical medicine book. That actually...
I've never encountered...
Of course not. In the magical library in Seastone, all books can talk. Things really get cooking.
All right, this potion, what goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds revolting.
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
And if I drink it, I'll be well again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
This metis bush...
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
A red herring. Are you...
Of course. Red herrings are known all over the land as per their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine...
All right, so I've got a red herring. Thank you.
Normally, it's me that... You are only a prince.
This flower clearly is one of the more... It comes from a country in the deep... It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration of war. Why do so many people hate this flower? Now that explains why this flower is classified as a weapon in 24 countries. Hi, Arbor.
Oh, Ivo!
Have you found out what's wrong with the plant yet?
Arr,
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine, then...
ill? You're an elf! Elves don't get ill!
But if I were...
Oh, come on.
Do we have a lettuce bush in the garden here?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect, then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The lettuce bush has exceptionally delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour. Call it a defence mechanism.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of here.
That's right.
Do you know how I could get my hands on some honey?
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to...
Of course.
Would that beehive in the tree over...
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees
Couldn't they be distracted?
Beekeepers wear protect... But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done it.
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it... What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect a variety of mystical items in exchange for it.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Not everything needs to be complicated, you know.
There's some... See you later.
See ya.
If the bush had a heart, it would have skipped. Thanks. There's only a little water left. However. The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles, a standard reference book that... Perhaps I can help... The wood of intelligent apple. For a long time, botanists thought that it may be possible to find other intelligent fruit varieties. This plant reminds me of the one that Arbor's having problems with at the moment. Love lily. The love lily enters into an enduring relationship with another plant very early in its life, which frequently lasts its lifetime. If the partner plant dies, then the love lily does not normally survive the separation. This plant reminds love the... The door can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up... This flower was given to us by the fairies. Just like I bet they're... Isn't there a turn of phrase like, as long as... Isn't there a... as long as... Mother thought it was unseemly. I don't think she could get used to... A lovely spot. Isn't there a turn of phrase, as long as... Look, do you know this flower?
Ha ha ha! You did well, girl.
It would appear...
You snivelling girl.
I don't...
Well then...
That's Arbor's little spade. He always leaves his stuff. The smoke from Arbor's pipe seems to be calming the bee.
Hey now, you all right there?
Sorry, had to do it.
Well, I'm not happy about this destruction of nature. Not unless I get half of that there honey.
I don't need any more. The rest is for you.
Oh, that be good stuff. But that's enough. The bees need a bit too.
As suspected, they're a red herring, but they always come back to their homeland to breed. I don't have a clue about fishing. Just as I expected, nothing. Somehow I have the feeling that I now know what I'm doing. Goldsmithing, masonry, and a book about carpentry. Like all books in this library, it's a guest present. The logic behind this must... Those elves, they have so many beautiful statues and items of wood. They'll be really interested in this. Why don't we... What they don't realise, though, is that if we're interested in a subject, then we'll already know pretty much all there is to know about the matter, and the book's of no use to us whatsoever. Working with wood. He carves this one. Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans. And what's this? Perhaps there are a few A lucrative season with a successful technique doesn't just depend on the... It doesn't matter whether you jig, dip, toddle, or... I haven't the faintest idea what all that means. Arbors. Since Nate left, I really shouldn't. I should tell Mother how her daughter... The worms provide a great look. I always hang a good solid fishing rod. Nothing special, but I should be able... I guess that I could... Or I could try to speed things up by learning more about fishing elsewhere. Red herrings are far... Nothing. Nothing. A classic. Nothing. A classic. Oh. I will only deploy this flower in self-defense, or when it could prove... A classic. Nothing. A classic. A classic. A classic. Oh. A classic. At last. Now I can tick the red herring off my list. I've got what I need, but this is so much, and perhaps I'll have a bit of luck. Oh. A classic. A classic. Pity. Oh.